I started some onion seeds, and although they are sprouting, as you can see, they are just not going to be big enough in time or what have you to plant anytime soon. So I did go ahead and buy some onion starts, and then I also bought some broccoli and some Brussels sprouts because I am just having a heck of a time. So I am going to try and get some of these planted out in the garden. Also, I am going to take my garlic. This is my seed garlic, and I'm going to also put this in the ground. We have had rain here for quite some time, and now that there is a break in the weather, I'm going to get some of this garlic put into the ground. I do want to show you the carrots that I started in the last video. They have sprouted on one side. This side I see nothing, so maybe those seeds were duds, but I can get more seeds for that. But yeah, these guys over here have sprouted. So now what I'm gonna do is I am just going to come through and just start breaking apart. I want to leave the paper on as much as possible, but I want to come through and I want to break up all of my garlic bulbs, and each clove is a seed basically, and I want to choose the biggest ones out of all of my garlic. So I do have a lot of garlic bulbs to go through, so I am just going to quickly get this all taken care of, and then I will plant. I probably won't get to the onions until tomorrow because I am again fighting time, but yeah, one thing at a time. Okay, I tried to separate those into size piles. It looks like I didn't get very many big ones. I got quite a few medium-sized ones and quite a few of the smaller ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a pen and just kind of go down my beds and poke a hole where I want a garlic, and then I am going to place a garlic in that hole and cover it up. And when you're planting garlic, you want to plant with the root side down. So pointy side up, root side down. So some of these garlic seeds I am just not going to plant because the size of the bulb that you get depends on the size of the seed that you put in. And these are just really, really small. So I am going to probably put the onions going down the rest of this garlic bed. And then if I end up with more onions, then they will go where the peppers used to be. But for now, my garlic is done. Now I'm going to draw a line where I believe I put my last garlic seed. So hopefully that is accurate. And then I am just going to take the tag to the onions and put it in here so that I know what I've got. But like I said, these are very easy to take apart. I probably should have my gloves on. I don't typically like to wear gloves, but I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna get these separated and placed where I want them to be planted. Okay, so I got all my onions planted. I would say I probably got 50 garlics planted, and then I've got 1 6-pack of onions planted. The only thing I have to worry about, I think, is when I come out tomorrow, if any little birds have pulled them out or dug them up. That would be the only thing that I can see happening. But fingers crossed that when I come out here tomorrow to plant the rest of my onions and brassicas, we'll be good. All right, so my onions that I planted last night seem to have fared pretty well overnight. Nothing came in and pulled them out. So I'm gonna continue on this morning and just get the rest of these onions planted. I think I may have too many onions for this space right here, but that's okay. I have a whole other planter box right next to it that I can just plant these onions in. And then I have a whole other tray that I can plant in this planter box here that I am sitting on. So I am going to, like I said, just get these all separated and planted in the ground. And most of my onions that I am planting are either short day onions or are onions that are neither short or long day. There are different day onions based on where you live. So in a place that usually has long days of sunlight, you would want a long day onion. And then the areas that have short days of sunlight, like right now our sun is setting at about 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish. And so that is a short day. Okay, I got all of my onions planted and I still have plenty more left in case a couple of them don't survive. But that's a lot of onions. And I hope that they get big enough to be able to use for next year. But now what I'm going to do is I need to get these brassicas in the ground as well. So I have a whole other bed along the back wall over there of the greenhouse that I can use. And then I actually have two other beds that I can use. But I am going to get some stuff in that back bed over there. I would like to cover it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because I don't want any, bugs getting in them. But I guess it is what it is, and I'll just keep an eye on them. So now I'm going to plant some broccoli, some Brussels sprouts, and I think I got some cauliflower. I did start some seeds on my own, but they just did not do very well. They are starting to perk up a little bit, the ones that I've already planted previously, but I just didn't think that there was enough, so I did go ahead and buy some from Walter Anderson. Now these that I have here are broccoli and cauliflower. Unfortunately, that cauliflower already has a little tiny head on it, so I don't know if that's going to be a problem, but I am just going to come in and put as many in this planter box as I can.
Ooh, look at all those worms.
I think I hit the mother load for the breeding ground for worms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this soil that has a bunch of worms in it, and I'm going to put it in the garden beds that I just planted. I love it when the garden is starting to come together and the planter boxes are starting to get filled. Now it doesn't look like it when it comes to the garlic and the onions necessarily right now because they are planted and they're just kind of wilted over. But everything else is looking good. There are a couple things in this garden that I still need to get rid of, which they're fine because they are still producing, and these eggplants actually look like they're doing very well. But I've only ever gotten 2 off of it and we just never ate them, so I don't know if I will grow eggplant again. And then my bell peppers actually have a lot of fruit on them, but the leaves are looking pretty wilted, so I think once I harvest these bell peppers off of here, so this whole row here and up to about right here is all garlic, and then this is all onions here, and then these are the Brussels sprouts. This bed here is the things that I started from seed. They are starting to pop up and do a little bit better. This bed and that bed over there. And then this bed here is my cauliflower and my broccoli. And then I have all of these onions right here and right here and right here. So I know it's taken me a while to get to this point to actually start filling up these garden beds, but I am glad that they are filled up with the new seasons of veggies, and I can't wait to share the progress of this with you. Hopefully it's a good progress and everything works out. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. What do you got growing in your fall/winter garden? Can you garden in the winter where you live? And all the things. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Bye.